Hello Starseeds and welcome back to my channel. As you can see, today we are doing a wig install. This video is going to be a little more detailed than my other videos, so stay tuned and keep watching. Starting off with plucking, I took out the hairline just a little thin around the hairline, not too much. You just want to start plucking behind that front line there, and you want to skip spaces. So as you can see, the tweezers I'm using, they're like the flathead tweezers, and you're just skipping those spaces, going through. The knots are bleached. I did a little pink highlights here and there, little pink skunk stripes in the front and on the sides, and a few highlights throughout the unit as well. But as you can see, I'm just going through and plucking, taking some of that density out of the hairline. Now I'm just going back a little bit just because you don't want to have any hard lines of demarcation. You don't want to have that harsh hairline. You want it to look as natural as possible and as realistic as possible. So you don't want to have any hard lines in there. So really just pluck to your liking, comb the hair back, see how you like it. If you need to go back in, do so as you please. Then I pull that front hairline piece that I took out. I pull that back and just go through and make the hairline look a little more natural and take out that harsh line in the front. But it's not too much plucking because that is the official hairline, okay? The hot comb is very important to use during this too, especially if you're plucking while dry. I know some people like to pluck wet. I like to pluck dry just so I can see everything and use the hot comb as well as I go. So I'm just showing you the difference. You can see how dense the hairline is originally and after plucking. Now it is important to pluck in sections. I knew that I was doing a side part for my first look with this wig. So I started off on the side on one end of the part, and now I'm going through and doing the middle. This is just a closer view for you to see, as well as with that skunk stripe in the front. The color is different. It's that pink color. So just to show you up close and personal plucking of the front. You see, I'm still skipping spaces to make the hairline look more natural. And remember to pluck from the root. Okay, you don't want to pluck the strands. You want to pluck it straight from the root. That's why the flathead tweezers are important to use, because they get a better grip on the root. Now I am styling the unit. I'm just adding some barrel curls in there to add some body to the wig. As you can see, I have most of it already done here. I much rather style my wigs on a head rather than styling on my head. It's just much easier for me to see what I'm doing, and it doesn't hurt my arms as much. So I'm just going ahead and curling it here and clipping it up, pinning the curls up, styling the unit. Now I am getting ready for the bald cap. I'm just setting my edges back with the Got To Be glue, making sure that they are straight and out of the way, protecting my edges, I should say. And I was getting ready for a Don Toliver's concert, Lovesick Tour, so I was in a rush and trying to record at the same time, but I really made it do what it do. Okay, so now I am cutting the cap. When cutting the cap around my ears, I like to start a little further back just to avoid the cap from splitting up front where the hairline is. Then I take the Got To Be glue hairspray to go ahead and melt the cap in the front. Here, I just take some concealer and go ahead and coat the whole front of the cap. Now, it is okay to go a shade or two darker with your concealer, especially because the cap is so light and I am working with HD lace. So just to get that perfect melt and that perfect blend, you can go a shade or two darker with the concealer. Now I am just cutting that cap. It's all good and ready to go. Just making sure that it is as close to the hairline as possible. Now it's time to cut the lace. I like to cut the lace before installing. It just gives like working smarter, not harder. It's a lot easier to cut the lace when it's in front of you and on the wig head before you install. Make sure that you're not cutting in straight lines. You want to zigzag that line out because once again, we are working with the hairline. So you want to make sure no harsh lace lines. Yes, I am using the Hold Me Down glue by Erica J. Love this glue. Very long lasting. I really like how the glue dries. It dries very flat, you know, not really lumpy and bumpy. Just very flat, very smooth, and very long lasting. I'm not too rough on my wig, so I typically only do 2 layers of glue because that's what works for me. You can always do more if you would like to do 3 or 4 if you like longer lasting wigs, but I typically keep my wigs on for about 2 weeks and 2 coats do me justice. Here I'm just taking that same concealer and tinting my lace. In between tinting the lace, I went ahead and did my second coat of glue as well on my hairline. So you just want to go ahead and tint that lace up. Now that the glue is dry, you can see that that is clear. Now it's time to go ahead and pull the wig down and melt the lace. This part is also good to do in sections. I like to start in the middle. You want to make sure that it's centered and then start working your way down to the sides. Just so you can make sure that everything is lined up how you like it. You don't want to have any lumps or bumps in that lace. You want it to be flat, flat, flat. So pull and tug, make sure it fits and is snug. And typically you want to try this before you do your glue. Try it on, make sure, I just didn't record that part. But yeah, try it on, make sure, you know, the color is matching. Make sure the back of the wig is to the tightness that you like it. And you can go ahead and start melting that lace. The comb is also very important for reinforcement, just to make sure that the lace is adhered. You want to move that hair back as well. As the glue is drying and as you're installing, you may have to add a little more glue when it comes to the side flaps just to make sure that it's secure and that it stays. These are the ear flaps that I cut off, just showing you how much, lace gets cut off when installing here. Not too much, but, just a little. I do have kind of a small head, big head kind of. But yeah, so now I am just taking the elastic band to melt the front. And while that's melting, I'm going to finish curling the front as well. If you like this unit, be sure to head over to stylesbyag.com to order your own custom unit from me. I have all of these wigs available. Head over there now. So now I'm taking the razor and I'm just refining that hairline. Any little pieces of lace that did not get melted or that does not belong, just reshaping that hairline. Just go ahead and cutting that right on off with the razor, getting it as close to the hairline as possible. As you can see, it's, coming along great. What lace? Like, what lace? So I'm taking my razor comb now and taking out the baby hairs. Just want to make sure that they are to your liking, long enough to your liking, or long enough, short enough, however you like them. Then I'm taking my wax stick and I'm going to take the hot comb to go ahead and flatten the hair out. Okay, you want to have it as flat as possible. Nobody wants a fat wig. Now getting into that baby hairs that's right at the part, you want to kind of have like a triangle. You want to take it out as like a triangle. I don't know how else to explain it, but you can kind of just see it here. And then I take my really small curling irons and just curl them under. I like to curl under because it's easier for me to work with. And I just like that look. I lay my baby hairs flat. I don't really like the brushed out extra curled baby hairs. I like mine really flat and laid down. So as you can see here, I'm just taking a little bit of the Got To Be gel. That is what I use to lay them flat. You can use mousse. I have used mousse before, but I just like the gel because it lasts longer for me. And I don't like doing my hair like for the rest of the week or like the rest of the time that I have this in. The only thing I will have to really do is just like brush up the edges every few days. But other than that, they stay intact. I may have to, put a little spray and lay them down. But other than that, they're staying there. They're not going anywhere. So now I'm back, face is beat, edges are laid and melted. It's time to go ahead and take those curls down, take those pins down. And y'all, when I say I was rushing, like it was like last minute, I was rushing so bad. But yeah, here we are. Got that side part, just brushing out them curls. I didn't want my hair too curly. I wanted just a body look. I just like, to have some body, kind of like a straight look, but not too straight, not too curly. Please don't come for me for the way that I cut that. I did go back in and fix that cut. As I said, I was rushing. So I'm just taking my big barrel curling iron and, refining some of those curls, getting my swoop in the front to kind of lay how I want it to lay, do what I want it to do, okay? going back in with the hot comb and taking the big round curling iron as well in the front, just so the front can lay how I like it to lay. I want it to have that kind of like pushed back up to the side look. I can't really explain, but you see what I'm doing here. Okay, so just making sure that it's flat at the part and make sure the front is flat and straight to the back as well. Making sure that everything is just flat, okay? You want to play with that hair, run them fingers through that hair, run them combs through that hair. You can just see it's giving scalp. Like, look at that. Scalp, scalp, scalp. Add some more layers in there if you like. If you don't like how your hair is falling once it's curled, add some layers. Layers are very helpful. Layers help the hair flow, okay? It's going to give you that body. It's going to give you that flow to your whole look. And here's the finished look. I absolutely love how this came out. Make sure y'all go to stylesbyag.com and get you a custom unit. If you would like to order your own, you can always DM me. I'm always taking custom orders, but be deposit ready. Thank you guys. Love you. Bye.